Hello. 1 second, let me get chat pulled up. So, we're back. I'm very, very hyped. And the fact that I feel like we probably could finish this game today. Well, you never say never. I don't know. But I will hope that we can get it done. We got 4 more people to get before we get this special visitor to come back to our house. And we're going to just see what happens and see how it goes. Pop out. My focus, my attention is not here yet. But it's coming. What's up, guys? I hope you're having a great day. TiCup here. And we've been playing a little game called Roottrees. I've been enjoying this game very much. And what's up, TiCup's T? How are you? I've been enjoying this game. It's like it's a point and click. What would you call it? More like a logic kind of sort of mystery game. I kind of like to call it like a puzzle. There's definitely puzzles involved in everything we're doing, right? It's a little bit of logic, a little bit of common sense, and we will be done with this game, to be honest. Like, look how many people we got left. So we got Jim. We got to figure out what Jim is. And honestly, we got to figure out, maybe Jim dropped out. I don't know. We got to figure out what Jim is. We got to figure out what Stephanie is. We got to figure out what Nicole is. And we got to figure out what November does. Now, last time, right before we ended, we figured out that November was a dancer. She had a choreography studio that she owned. So we locked her in as a dancer. But we're having a little bit of trouble figuring out people's spouses. And basically just figuring out what we have to do to solve these last few people. So we're going to lock in a little bit. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And we're gonna have a little fun today. I think we had a lot of fun, and I don't think I grabbed the hint last game. I think we might have like just combed over every single piece of evidence, and then chat kept spamming, reread everything, relook at everything, and I was like, oh, okay. And there was a lot of stuff I missed, so valid, right? But yes. What's the move for today? I don't really know what the move is, but the move is to try to get these last 4 people locked in, and then maybe we don't necessarily have to solve the spouses, but if we could figure something out, maybe, just maybe, we'll figure it out. So I feel like maybe looking into each one of these people, we might be able to find a little bit more about the spouses. So like, for example, if we look into Miracle Jr., and maybe at some point Miracle Jr. talked about how they grew up and what the mom potentially would have been named. If not, I don't know. But then again, we don't necessarily need to solve these spouses' names. Here are the names we got left. We got Joanne, Helen, Patricia, and April. You know what my thought process just had? I just had a revelation. Okay, I just had a revelation. What if Patricia Jones has something to do with Brian Jones? You know? We know the family do be dating like kind of sort of like, you know, similar folk. Like, you know, for example, James dated Diamond and Clark dated both of Diamond's sisters. Clark, zip it up, for real. Oh, I guess technically, no, he had 3 kids. That ain't too bad, but gosh, dang, like why it had to be Jane's younger sister? That's kind of wild. This family is messy. From what we have read, this family is messy. It's one of those games where you're like, okay, this should be easy, but the more you get into it, the more hard it could be. That's how I would define it, I guess. Got myself a little vitamin water. Got me some water. Gonna keep hydrated today so we can think, right? And yes, I'm a little late. I don't know who to blame it on, but I'm here now, you know. A cool little evening stream ain't hurting nobody. Okay, so what do I want to do? Last time we were looking into November and we found out that November had a dance studio. We could look into the mom, but I feel like because it's Patricia Jones and Brian Jones, what if that is something, right? I hope I spell this right. Patricia Jones. And if anything will have Patricia Jones, it will be Butler County. I don't want to go out on a whim, but at some point, we had read that one of them, basically, Lauren said the worst thing that any of them did was marry somebody that would have been illegal if before, I forget what year, southern of what, Pennsylvania, wherever they are from. And obviously, figuring out November, we can put two and two together to say that Edward had a relationship with somebody who was black. So that's also the main reason that I put that connection together between the Jones. But that's not the only time. I feel like some other people were dating people too. So, like, for example, Penelope Tessa Green. Well, I guess Sharon and Thomas don't got nothing to do with Penelope Tessa, but they acted together, right? I don't know. I can't find anything on Patricia. But going off of like just any type of hint or any type of maybe this could be this person kind of vibe. Maybe that's right. You said my tree is so close. Oh my gosh. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I gotta be close. I gotta be close. Now, what other names do we have? We got Joanne and we got April. I feel like this one, James did have an interview. We don't know exactly how James grew up, but we might be able to find Clark as well, because Clark grew up with James, and figure out who the spouse would have been. But I guess we're locked into the wrong things. We need to be solving these portraits, because those would count, right? See, they said they're optional, but they help us remove extra names. Either way, I mean, we know the names. We just got to figure out what they did. Now, I want to go look at the little death note. Not death note, but the little note that Deborah sent to Carl. And see if there's anything about this. Now that we know that they're kind of swapped over, maybe they talked about Nicole by any means. Like, we did get a picture of Nicole, right? Reread, why not? To Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend her funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on earth, knew how busy your job could be. And that kind of is like now that I'm rereading it, obviously, like, Ernie was a president, right? Did we get him locked in? Yeah, we did. Okay, perfect. Yes, the Shiva candle. I wonder if that's worth looking up. Like, what if Nicole ended up being Shiva candle, outside the faith is given religion. Shiva candle may be specific to a specific religion, and maybe, just maybe, the daughter, got close with her religion when her father died. I don't know, I'm reaching, but you never know. So I might look into it. Let's see. Ernie was a man full of love, not for his family, but for his family's legacy. Had an immense amount of pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl carried on after taking over. It's impossible to express my gratitude for rescuing us from the panic of burning and endless bills. I wonder what he needed a transplant, a donor list. Interesting. That don't help. I'm sure it's probably. I'm curious if it at least defines it. No. I feel like the game was okay with, like, some stuff you are able to, like, look up and define. Now, did we search Nicole's name? That will be another adjacent thing. You say, so you're pretty sure it's a Jewish thing? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to assume, you know. Did I get that? Okay, let's look in Butler County Times. She's kind of younger. And like we said, a random thing is not going to help us. So what? Okay, here's what I believe is locked in. I believe we have November locked in. We have the photo. We have the job. If choreographer means anything else but dancer, then I don't know what to do. Maybe it's the CEO that goes there, but I think she's pretty locked in. I think we can lock that in as something we don't have to worry about. I also believe that Stephanie, I can't prove it. I don't remember where we grabbed this information, but I believe that Stephanie got something about the farm or something like that. I'm not sure, but I believe that Stephanie is within the farm. I just can't. I'm trying to remember where we read that at. We might have to search Stephanie's name to prove that. The ones that I'm questionable about are these two. Obviously, I don't know anything about Nicole. What's up, Mike? How are you? And I don't know anything about Jim. So that's what we got to figure out. Now, my confirmation bias wants me to believe that Jim is right as well, because we swapped Jim. We got 4 right in the last stream, and we swapped Jim because we were certain that we got it wrong, because if we had it right, we would have got her, you know, we would have been got the 4 right. So I'm gonna lock in on Nicole, and maybe we could look up more about Ernest. We might be able to find a little information in the periodicals, maybe. And then the other thing I got is, do we have any sort of, we do. Ooh, the history tab might help you find the Stephanie Farm thing. Not too bad. Oh no, hay fever, that sucks. I hope you're feeling better. Really, take it easy. I'm feeling pretty good though. Woke up, did my thing. I'm a little late, but I feel like I've had a pretty good day. I'm, you know, going through a lot, trying to figure out, you know, adult stuff. And it's been cool. I feel like streaming is, hopping back into streaming has been pretty cool. Fortunately, I'm still able to have a job where I got flexibility to like really pour some more time back into it. So I'm doing a lot better for sure. Absolutely. Let's see. So we got to look more about Stephanie. There's something that we didn't get from here. That's also something that might even help me as well. It could have something to do with, I don't know, honestly. It could have something to do with any of these people, but I believe because we have the number, it has something to do with somebody that we don't have revealed. Okay. There's a flyer about a candidate for a local office, Stephanie Jones, and we got a newspaper excerpt on the back. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least. We realized that she was grown up by 2 women, and then now she has her own baby. I'm surprised we didn't put it in there, but I guess that makes sense. This is probably the most recent piece of anything, right? Well, not that recent. It's before. I'm assuming this note was wrote before Carl passed. I'm assuming the Carl passing and the daughter's passing was the thing that led us to getting this search. And yeah, I think my whole kind of theory has changed because I thought Sam was here. I don't know who's here, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know who's here, to be honest. I feel like it's gotta be somebody. There's gotta be that EC person, if I had to guess, or something. I don't know. But we're gonna figure it out. Let's see. Stephanie Jones. That's the wrong Stephanie. We do need to look at Stephanie Jones, but we're gonna come right back to that. And I doubt this name is gonna be Stephanie. So we're looking about something about this farm. It's called the Anderson Farm. I remember the name. And it got absorbed to, I'm assuming, the Roottree farm. You found some information on a website about the first Anderson maple farm. There are a few pictures, including a famous one of Elias and Gwyneth. Yes, this is the OG farm. Before Elias took over, produced syrup. It was his idea to make candy. Led to the 5 pieces, and we know those are inspired by his children. Though the Roottree Candy Company expanded well, it's been preserved as a tourist attraction. There are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off many turn-of-the-century appliances that Gwyneth would use as a housewife early 1900s. And I believe, honestly, I'm curious if rereading this was something that helped me figure out that she was a housewife, or was that something totally different? That was wrong. It's this. Okay. Has consistent ads for tours and demonstrations at the first Anderson Maple Farm for a very long time. The farm also appears in every so often in a section about things to do in Butler County. Seems like twice each summer, Roottree Candy Company's current head of farming, Miss Cattrall. Yes, so we are confirmed. I think we're confirmed that Stephanie is a farmer in that statement. I'm gonna read the full thing just in case they say she quit, right? Imagine. Returns to Butler County to demonstrate how the 5 pieces were made at the beginning of the century. Demonstration provides free samples of the original 5 flavors. Look at that. I remembered that myself. That's cool. I was like, what is that called? What is it called? And I feel like looking at that big list is a little... it's like so much to read and to scroll at the same time. It's almost like, you know how you like try to read and scroll? It's not easy. Yes, they sell it all the time. They can talk about getting the tickets before they go on sale. And yes, discounts on Tuesdays, 10 out of 10. I'm curious, like, does this have anything? Like, what if you could look it up? All right, so I believe we have most people locked in. So that puts Stephanie as more accurate, and that puts November as accurate. Now the question here is, my confirmation bias wants me to believe that Jim is right. So it's just about Nicole. And I want to try to look this up. I don't want to go down the list and click. I feel like that's just, but that is something that, you know, if I got really tired of doing it, that's something that I would maybe do if I didn't have no other hits and I didn't want to take one. But yes, I think because we have a hint from here, we have to figure it out what we need to do. Let's search this Love Is Our Future just in case it wasn't something we searched before. And we might find something in Butler County, right? No. Okay, so her name is Stephanie Jones. The most recent mention of Stephanie Jones is a small report detailing election results. We realized she won. Okay, so we got the full version of the clipping. Stephanie Landon until her prior. Yes, Brian Jones. So we might. I think we went off in a tangent. Was looking into Jones print or something like that, and that's what made me think. I thought because we got November from that we had all the hints that we could, but the hint could be November the whole time, and we could just be looking up a dead end. But I'm gonna keep with it. Yes, we knew she grew up without a father. We'll look up Brian Jones in a moment, though she's a distant cousin of the Roottrees. Her mother, Carolyn. Yes, she opposed the company's. Yes. Yeah, okay, so maybe it is something to search with Brian Jones. Okay, we gotta search a local resource, which means we gotta search the Butler County Times. All right, let's comb over this evidence just in case we miss something, perhaps. Hydrate. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Okay, we got a small article about the Jones graphic and print. We'll search Jones graphic and print in a moment. Yes, Brian is talking about his father's print company. Brian seems not to let it go to waste as a marketing opportunity during the interview portion. Father told me everything that needs to know. We'll get it the drop right, getting it done quick. We've been a printing staple for Butler County for years. Even the Butler County Times uses us for coupon pages. Thanks. Whether you're a new client or regulars, nothing will change. Alright, so we just gotta search Jones graphic and print. And maybe there was something else to search, but I didn't necessarily think so. We'll copy this just in case we need it as well. It's a company that, according to a website, has existed in Butler County for some time. Website is fancy. Okay, so this is the address, hours, and examples of clients and type of work that was done for each. So last time we were looking into this, but we might be able to search something else. Like, there could be like a plethora of things what we could search in here. Okay, no. Okay. Stephanie Jones campaign. This could be a waste of time just searching every single thing for it, but I don't know. There's got to be something that I'm thinking. Hello? I was about to say, where'd it go? What's up, Shippy? How are you? How's it going, man? I appreciate you. I hope your day goes well, man. I really do. Alright, so we got the Miracle Network. We got Roottree Motors. So I believe we searched the Children of Eden, and it basically led us to like the Easter egg part of it. And then we searched the Butler Summer Theater, and it took us here, and that's how we realized that choreography by November Studios. So that's what I'm confused about. What else am I supposed to grab from here if I do have it? And if I don't have the person locked in, let's say November, does that number not go down? You know? Maybe let's look into Ernest. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I might Google a few more things on this page just to triple check. Yes, and we go back to Butler County Times to look it up. You know, it's used to be called Wilkins Motors. Okay. What else? I think we searched this, but there could be something else that we didn't grab from it. I believe that. What about Butler County Times? Do we got anything about that, or like Starlit or something like that? Yeah, we know he has some legal troubles. Yep. What about Starlit? People is talking about him. Probably not. Okay. And I believe that's it. Holiday light post banners. Unsure. I think you're right. The numbers may only. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking for sure. So. What's my next plan of action? Like the easiest thing may be trying some stuff, but like also could be very wrong. And then we found a little bit of Ernest Matson before. Let's see if we can find it again. I believe we found this before, not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, either way, it's kind of cool that we found it again without having to do too much. Alright. Most of the articles concerning Carl are not important. The plane crash is too recent to appear in these archives. Interesting that Carl... Oh, I guess this is a Carl article that also mentions Ernie Jr. Carl's marriages to Brenda. They're in the early 20s. I guess Carl got drunk and broke his arm. Interesting. Ernie is from 1996 when Carl took over as the 5th president. From Ernie Jr. apparently liked to stay out of the spotlight and never appeared in Bullitt County Times. Other few mentions here and there. Illness, that's the reason Ernie Jr. was stepping down. Now, do we have anything here? Carl's mentor, rarely seen in public. Is that how you spell his name? Like, is she important? Did she take up after her? Or she was a farmer too. Perhaps. It's like you never know. It's like you never know. I feel like that's pretty much... I'm like trying to figure out what... What route to go? Maybe... Okay. We looked business watching and we looked up Ernie Jr. We get some article from December 1995. Root president to take over Roottree. Due to a heart illness, Ernie Jr. is stepping down as a president of Roottree. Started the second quarter of 1996. His cousin Carl, president of sister company Root, a former Watchman of the Year, will take over. It's been 13 years since Ernie was forced to step into the role of president unexpectedly. Back then, not much was known about the man other than his full name. In years since, he has taken a bit of a reputation as a real-life Wonka. He is known as a bit eccentric and reclusive, opting to be called simply Ernie Jr. and to forego typical luxuries of the average Roottree. But in estimations, he has been a shrewder businessman with an eye for sweets. Ernie Jr. led Roottree to record profits by developing new products, including the ever-popular Maple Crisp, and spearheading the formation of Root with his cousin in 1982 after learning Brenda's Rootree's power in the fashion community. Okay, so I'm definitely thinking like this one, and we can also look up Brenda Roottree as well. That was the most recent product, 1992. Circular crunchy wafers coated up in nuts and chocolate maple flavoring. The website of a fan says they came during the tenure of Ernie Jr., former president. Is a commercial. They aired a few. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go back to this thing. We're gonna Butler County time, and then we're gonna look up Maple Crisps. It was a Super Bowl thing. That's what made me think it might have been the actual thing for it. Okay, let's go back to Ernie Jr. This could very much be like the first time we read that. Thank you for the lurk, Mike. I appreciate you. Carl's only been president for a hot second then. Dang, yeah. Actually, Carl has just been president for a moment, apparently. Honestly, it kind of makes sense because Ernie and Carl, like, are on the same generation. So in that same sense, like, they're not exactly close in age, but you never know. They very much could be, because they are. Their parents were somewhat similar, close in age. But yeah, that's just my theory right now. And we're gonna find more theories for sure. But honestly, this is kind of cool. This led me to something I haven't seen before. So we're gonna have to keep on our toes and keep looking up stuff. There's got to be more here too. That's what I thought. All right, I'll hydrate. So we know that he has a heart condition. We know that, honestly, because he has a heart condition, you can't say, is the Roottree curse real? I mean, at first, the curse can be real, right? But my thought process is also, it can't be somebody maybe killing people unless they killed him, like slowly poisoned him. But this also seems something to look up. Real life Wonka. I don't know what that means, but no, that wasn't anything important, I guess. That doesn't have anything to do with his daughter, though. You know? By our estimation, he's been a shrewd businessman with an eye for sweets. Maybe Brenda Roottree? I don't know. I'm gonna see. You stumble across your auction for a black and blue dress that's labeled Brenda White Original. The auction describes it as a vintage dress before Brenda became Brenda Roottree and started designing clothes for Root. The white and gold dress itself doesn't seem relevant to your search. Okay, Carl is mentioned in the Butler County Times. Oh, we just read that one, I think. Yeah, the plane crash is too recent. Maybe Brenda White? I want to look specifically about her. Oh, it's the same thing. Okay. Oops. It's gotta be something here, right? Ancestry.com ad, Twitch please. Bro, are they listening? Are they watching? Carl got drunk at a charity event. Why is that why would that be important? else could we read about it? Maybe we could do a little bit more looking into Samantha Roottree. Dang it. Dang it. Oh, you know, I just thought about a shawarma bowl. That sounds delish. And then maybe Business Watch, because I think they have the rights to the farm. Okay. There's no way she'd be a farmer, right? Nah, she didn't take up the family business. What else did we think she was? What else is logical? A preacher. Nope, she's not a preacher. What's she doing? She could be young, super young, in fact. Carl has been president for a hot minute, so if we could figure out maybe the years. What if they all had heart problems? If they all had heart problems, like, that would also be like, I would be like, yeah, that's purposeful. Somebody doing something. The other thing I would look up is potentially Stephanie, because they are cousins. Okay. It was worth a shot, right? When was this picture taken? Okay, we just read something about Ernie Jr. $1995. That was 3 years ago. So, got my pen. Where did we get Stephanie's photo from again? Is that like an old photo? I don't know. Oh, I got Stephanie's photo from Chris's art project. This one. No, not this one. Not this one. Why is it the middle one? This one, yeah. This is how we got the picture. So I assumed that they were relatively recent, but not that recent. Granted that she's a farmer, but she could dropped out. Been a farmer, I don't know. So in 1995, that's crazy. Carl only had control for 3 years. He only took over Roottrees for 3 years. Oh, technically 2, because 1996, the second quarter. So not exactly a full, like, 2 years, actually. That's when so Ernest Jr. Stepped down in 1996, and then Carl took over. And then before 1996, it was 13 years. 1996 minus 13 is 1983. So in 1983, that was when a guy passed. And I think we might be able to search and maybe even verify. A small article from 1997. Yes, twin siblings. And they did the Boys and Girls Agree era. Guy's uncle and Zachariah has decided to take an early retirement to focus on traveling the world with his wife. And this is 1997. That don't necessarily mean this thing was also made in 1995, so that could be 1981. So maybe it just took a year or a couple quarters after they said that they were gonna step down and step down. You know what I mean? And then is it Morden? And then 1959. Oh, you know what? We were reading something about Guy Hudson. So Guy took over in Okay, so Zach took over in 1959. That's what the article says. Or that's where the article is from. In 1977, writing this down, Guy took office. Right? Roughly 13 years from that, it's like 1990 or so. Then who was next? Ernest. And then what we got, 1996 is Carl. Now, I think I just went on a rabbit hole for something that may or may not be helpful. My thought process is, if we could figure out, right, when Ernest died, or close to when Ernest died, right, we might be able to figure out how old Nicole is right now. Nicole looks like maybe like a 10-year-old in this picture. She can't be a teenager. Absolutely not. I don't think. I mean, teenagers can wear overalls, but it's like the fit with the overalls is given a lot younger than it is. And also, the parent helping the kid light the candle is not given something that older kid would get that same treatment, right? So maybe if I go back into looking into Ernest Jr., 1995. And do we know when he passed? We just don't know exactly when he passed. But we know in 1995, so roughly this girl should be 2 to 3 years older than she is now. That's what I'm thinking, right? If Ernest stepped down in 1995, right, he probably didn't die, unless he died, right? This also could be 3, right? That's why I said 2 to 3, because, 3 years in between 1995 and 1998, he definitely passed. And Carl took over, right? He clearly also, because of the letter that Brenda wrote, that he knew how hard your job could be. Maybe that also is given that he lived just a little longer after he gave the company off. So she should be 10, 12, 14 max, right? You said the game's in 98, so it's a pretty narrow window. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. So I think we might put her as a student. That didn't help. Unless she's older than she thinks. I mean, Stephanie is a farmer. I mean, the only picture we have of Stephanie is this. We don't know if Stephanie's picture is old or not. Wait. Let's go back to that. The current head of farming. Okay, so she is the head of farming. I was about to say, because they talked about her doing stuff like, what if she was like a tour guide or something, like, or she, whatever that changed. So I gotta rethink what I'm doing here. I really do. I feel like I'm on the right track. This girl is a young girl. I mean, she very much could. I mean, who knows? They gotta stay strong for Nicole's sake. It's giving she's a lot younger than it seems. Let me reread this. Yes, he's a man of love, immense pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl took over, carried on for him. So he definitely witnessed him he witnessed him doing it, right? What else could she be? She looks too young to be a college student, truthfully. Genuinely. She has an actual job. One of these two have an actual job. Whether she is like younger than him and she's not in college and she got an actual big girl job, or she, who looks a lot younger and appears to be younger, we have her correct now and we just have to look more into Jim. That's what I am thinking right now. And because I'm getting the "you got this" in chat, I feel like maybe I'm cooking. I don't know. It's impossible to express my gratitude for rescuing us from panic and burden of endless bills. The company took care of us behind our wildest dreams. What's also throwing me off is I don't have any more evidence numbers. So Carl, what we do know is Ernest was alive a little bit after Carl took over. So which means he was alive in 1996. We had baby in here. Do we got kid? What if she's too young? Like, what if she's like, no, come on now, stop. What if she, what if she's too young to be a student? What if she's just like a kid? She's not no toddler, but like she's like 5. I mean, no, she don't really look 5. Let me be real. And if it's not you, it's you. One of these two are wrong. One of these two are wrong. You know what else I was thinking about? That the only thing that letter makes me think about is Deborah talked about Carl saving them from financial hardship, right? Knowing that Carl saved them from financial hardship, that's crazy. Look at Carl. He couldn't have been too much older in this picture than this picture, right? Young guy. But basically, like, we read something about let's see if I can find it. Roottrees versus RR, and basically like somebody tried to, oh no, it's not somebody tried to remove, but basically we know that Samantha got the rights to the farm, to control the farm. We know that she didn't get like all the money, so these, this portion of the family is a little broke, you know what I'm saying? Most of the money went to the main Roottree family, and basically everybody who kept the Roottree name, you know what I mean, originally. But I don't know. First, the person in question was born out of wedlock, and second, they committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. Now, I wonder what that is about. Did Carl dissolve the trust though? There's something. There's something I need to attach to, and I think me not having any guidance is the problem. That's what I think. Guidance. So we tried to prove how old that she was. I wish we know what Deborah did, because that will also maybe make me believe that she did something else. We could very much so go back and search this man, Steven Wilson, pediatrician to the stars. We talked about how he had a very punchable face. Yep, he pops up to the top. He's a doctor to the Roottrees sisters. There's a picture of him and his 3 children. 3 of them look as they're holding hostage. What's his job? He's a doctor? What if she's a doctor? What if she took up after daddy? Doctor. No. Okay. Okay. World-class care, and then we realized that maybe Steven Wilson might potentially be in Butler County Times. We realized that he practiced in Butler County. What if this is a book? Gosh, why do I keep... I need my 100% keyword back. I've been missing it lately. What is this pediatrician to the stars? I know you guys are probably looking like, what is going on? Hi, Akeem, how are you? Miss Cattrall sounds like she would have been a 3rd grade teacher. Yeah, absolutely. I would say that. That kind of is giving like 1st grade teacher kind of thing. I can just feel her giving me the attention to my soul. But hi, Akeem, how are you? How's it going? My day's going pretty good. I'm grinding this game out. And trying to get to the bottom of this mystery. And I want this thing to unlock so I can figure it out. I'm assuming this is the 50th name. And we still don't know who goes there, but we're all figuring it out, I guess. Now, what do I latch onto? That's the thing. Like, because I have this, right? That was given, like, we get November from that. But now what? We could reread the one about Sam. This all has something to do about Sam. And basically people were mad that Sam's name got announced in the will, and people didn't know about Sam, I guess because, her dad did not claim her. Her baby Samantha. Patricia and Eli Jr., so that's Elias Jr., right? Her baby was sent to the Roottree. Interesting. Farmhand known as EC. This is who we actually locked in. She reappeared, going by Patsy. Ah, so maybe she was young enough to change the name back, or maybe like the name was just there in general. Okay, let's go back to Sam. Clearly, I didn't know our true family history when I wrote this. I didn't even know Sam was a Roottrie. All my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman. And she talked about she could have been a sister she needed. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. Children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning day to day from Zach. We know that. It's been a long time since the Roottree was excited and interested as the actual candy as Ernie. And then we know Gwyneth has a green thumb of her mother and adopted grandfather. Adopted grandfather. Is that adopted grandfather or that EC figure? Well, I'm almost ashamed of not figuring out myself. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have thick glasses, but that skips the generation. Her children have that covered. Sam wouldn't receive candy money and was just inheriting the right to rule over the peasants. Pop warned us to stay away from that farm for years. I'm not sure Sam will forgive Uncle Junior and Patsy from abandoning her in that life. Okay, anything else in here? There's something here. There's something here. I just gotta grasp onto what it is. Hey, the hydrate? I appreciate that. Look, I was just hydrating. Okay, let's see. And then these are Eli's. I almost wish she wrote more books, or like a younger generation start writing books so we can figure out something. I'm just like, geez, man. And then another thing about it is we have somewhere. Wow, is this all the way at the beginning? Somewhere we have Chris's email. Maybe if we look into the email, we might find a little description of his schoolwork, and the description may or may not help me figure out who's who. So it's not everything we need, but it seems like after a while it goes away. Okay, so let me go back into. How do we even find Chris Rafferty's work? Chris Rafferty's cousins. There's something with the email, and I believe it's some type of shit. I keep doing that. I keep pushing page down or up key. Rafferty. Damn, got nothing. So he got something, and he wasn't supposed to talk about his famous cousins. But we already know what Stephanie does. So maybe we shouldn't lock into that. To me, I think I feel like I'm more leaning towards having Nicole right than anything, just upon knowing that this picture that we have of her is within 3 years old-ish, right? Yes. I wish they said anything else to latch onto or to search. And then with Jim Wilson, I don't see anything. I don't believe that there's anything in here. It would be a big surprise if Jim Wilson did pop up by any means. Because I believe we did this kind of search last time. Low-key attached because Steph wears the same clothes as me. Okay, yeah. I can see, okay. Why can I not see? This is a cool outfit, you know what I'm saying? I feel like this is pretty cool. It's given like a little bit of fall. It's given like it's too cold to have a full shirt on, so you put another one on. I do like flannels though. I feel like oversized flannels like this are really cute. Like if you've ever seen like the really long ones or like a skirt, beautiful. Or not a skirt, a dress. And it doesn't help that I don't take any notes and I don't have any notes to my name, right? Imagine I deleted these notes. I don't know. I genuinely am kind of stumped right now. I'm trying to imagine what does the game want me to do. We have the band, I guess. Jim had a 2-year-old daughter named Candy. A bit too on the nose. Interesting. Maybe we'll specifically look up Jim Roottree. My thought process right now is like, they had a band together, him and Clark, right? Maybe perhaps something is going to lead us to maybe something else. Let me search. Is it Dame LaRoe? Or do I just go back to here and go to music, right? And then we just find this. Let me just triple check. Something that we read gave us Clark's kid's email. I don't know what it was that we read. No, this is a username. Damn. You clearly see I have something in my memory about some type of email or something. On the Xfinity. They're like, You know that you talk to them on the phone, and it just seems like I don't know. It takes forever, but they finally messaging me back like, "Can you review the call? Like, how did you enjoy yourself?" Kind of thing. Basically. But why not ask me to do that on the call, right? These people are easy to find on here. And sadly, none of these people are on the left side of the family tree that I actually need. Do we remember who this red Roottree person was? Aloysius Herring Roottree, aka Red, was a judge and politician who earned this nickname because he was ambassador for Ireland only about 6 days. Whose person is this? Serves what some people contend is the shortest term in history. A few days after he was appointed, he was heard disparaging his position and the Irish people. He then tried to run for Senate, claimed to be related to the Roottree Candy Company in a newspaper ad, but it comes out his last name was merely coincident. He was defeated by a landslide. Maybe that's real interesting though. I don't know if we had, when we first discovered this, I don't know if we had it, right? There's a sensationalist headline in 1932, Red Roottree rally ticket revealed. The article mentions a man named Aloysius Herring Roottree was running for North Carolina in office. At the campaign event, he claimed to be a relative of the Rootrees and promised 5 pieces on election day to all who voted. Within less than a day, it came out that it was just a coincidence. Okay. Why did they even include this? Like, was this maybe just something to throw me off and, like, figure out, like, okay, this person is fake? Aloysius Herring Roottree. That's an interesting name. Okay, well, I mean, that was something I don't know if I remember. I remember reading this, but I don't remember reading the periodical part about it. Where else should I look, man? It's been an hour, and I would think that I would have something confirmed. I might not actually have time to finish the game. That's crazy. I would think, you would think that I would, but I don't know. And I'm supposedly close, but I don't feel like it. And we can look up this root company. If she is older, the only other thing that I could, I would put is fashion design, right? And they don't have that, so. What do we have? Okay. Say get a hint. I feel like the games in the hit system is very gentle. I might do that. It's intriguing. Do I want to nudge? Yeah. Is it a piece of evidence that I have to look at? Like, is there I guess I'll ask specific questions. Regardless of the number, is there any other these evidence that I need to be looking at? Because I feel like there's something else I need to be looking at, but I just don't have a number next to it. So that's why I'm kind of like all over the place. That would be like maybe a thing, because if I do have to keep looking at it, then I'll just keep combing through it and then hopefully eventually find the answer to what I'm doing. But if it's not necessarily something in these evidence and it's something else about reading, I guess. I don't know. That's something I'm like, And this picture was taken 2 years ago. We have pretty much everybody in this photo. We have everybody in this photo but this guy in the background, who we think is very sus, to be honest. That could be that farmhand EC, low-key. You never know. They did have some blonde children, so clearly they have the genes to have a blonde male as well. They have Miracle. Miracle is a blonde guy. And Clancy as well. Clancy Everett. I think the evidence pictures of the 4 people you don't have locked in might get you there. The evidence pictures of the 4 people you don't have locked in. Ah, okay. So like the pictures attached to each one. I got you. Okay. So I think we'll focus in. Where I'm focusing on is Jim. I'm also focusing in on Nicole. Like, My thought process is both of these people are young, so I want to label them as students, but that's clearly not the case with either one of them. And I think the more likelihood is that Jim is the one with the actual job, because if this picture was taken 2 years ago and she's already dang near grown looking, she might actually be grown, right, in this picture. So she might actually have a big girl job. Actually, hopefully, maybe. Potentially. Perhaps. Maybe. One sec. Okay. I feel like that's a good thing. The evidence pictures of the 4 people you don't have. So we know that November. Well, I think we pretty much got it locked down. Choreography, she's got to be a dancer. There's nothing else she could be. Maybe a CEO if that isn't locked in, right? All I'm getting from her is she don't want to be there, bro. What does she look like? Could she be a housewife? That early? That early? You know, we done with the old times, right? Could she... She kind of look like she could be like a lawyer or like a teacher or something like that. But we're not guessing here. We're trying to find some factual evidence, because I feel like this would not become fun if we're just putting stuff in there. Like, you know, this would not be a fun game if I'm just clicking different numbers. So because of this like description, it's giving that I got this this photo from somebody, from the actual person I'm helping. It's not necessarily giving that it's not necessarily giving that I found this online, perhaps, but that doesn't mean it can't lead me online. And then what's up with this book thing? It's like we only read a couple books. The pictures, lock in on the pictures. All right, so I'm gonna go back to Steven Wilson. And there's not much. It's just that pediatrician to the stars, and he's the doctor to the Roottrees sisters. That also makes me think that he could be on Teen Blast or Starlet. No. A photo of him on his website as well as his 3 children. What is this? What is this supposed to tell me? What is it going to tell me? What is it going to tell me? All right. And we need to add that doctor. And then I don't know if we search the Warrendale. Like if this was like Google, right? You would type in what Steven Wilson Warrendale, and you will get something. That doesn't lead me to anything. Caroline wrote something about her her sister. She did not, would she loathe her sister for settling down? Uh-oh, that's not what I need. We need to take that to the public library. And then she, this is dedicated to Elise and Stephanie. Settle for boring men. She dislikes her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson, who she calls completely bogus. She comes out strongly against the Roottree company's effect on the local environment. Rose says she wasn't able to convince her father, Zach, to make changes to the policy. Her marriage to Mark led to one of the most volatile. Did we search Mark Landon? $524.96. I'm thinking. Then we got this picture. I mean, this is a picture that I feel like is mostly complete. Because we have everybody that we can actually click. Another thing I was thinking is that there's some way, somehow, one of these people are connected, honestly. Maybe we could search Gwendolyn Morden. Something. Give me something. I wish we could type that in with Chris Rafferty and probably get something. I'm sure we won't. No. is the move? What is the vibe? I'm trying to think of whatever else I can do before taking a hint. I think taking a hint, it might be the easiest thing, but I'm like, maybe I can figure it out without it, right? Hydration break, hydration break. Let me see. Okay. Chris Rafferty's Cousins Art Project include pictures of Davy, Bethany, and Stephanie, who's the only child. So that's the only one with letters on it. I mean, technically this one has letters in the background. I guess I'm just staring and deciphering. I appreciate you. Yeah, you're actually right. They don't. Imagine I could actually move this around. This looks like it almost looks like it's a question, but it doesn't make sense. Not how is this art, but what am I looking at? We also got a date for this. This is 97. B-I-C-A-T, fur. See where it leads us. Let's see. Oh, this is great. Exactly what we're looking at. Okay. 10 out of 10. He mentions one of his children was an only child. We know. I almost wish I can drag these here to see if they actually make words that make sense, or is this just literally some random shit he threw together, you know? Can you show me a tree? Oh, I got you. Here's my tree. So I have Nicole Matson, Stephanie Cattrall, Jim Wilson, and November Roottree. I am pretty much certain that November Roottree is correct, and I'm almost certain that Stephanie is correct, unless she did something else before or after she started, showing people the company. I feel like I got those two right. I'm struggling with these two, and there's not a lot about them. But they're talking about Chris Rafferty talking about his cousins. I mean, I don't got shit to do because I feel like I got her. I feel like I have her. Right? She's the only child. We know she belongs here. We had her here before, but Yes. You have questions? Yes. What are the questions? Let's see. Go all the way down to see if I see anything to do with that generation or the other generation. Gwendolyn. Basically, if it has anything to do with the Matsons or the Mordens, we're going to try to figure it out, I guess. And I think it's what the part that sucks is potentially looking up Zachariah may not be. Well, no, they said he stepped down to explore the world, so he may not be dead. I was thinking, like, you know how they said the curse, then if you look up stuff, they may not talk about their grandchildren, but they could have. That could be a thing. How did you find Stephanie's occupation? How did I find it? In the article about what they were doing, an article about the Anderson farm. That's basically here. Oh. Interesting. I never got that before. And yeah, yes, the tours. And then we search the tours here in the periodicals. Miss Cattrall, head of farming. I wish her name popped up stuff. Maybe she, you know, like the idea is like some people be talking about some people be talking about I lost my train of thought. I very much did. Let's see. I just realized my mistake. MRS implies married. So that must mean Gwyneth is the farmer and she's not. So what does that tell me? MRS, Mrs. or Miss Cattrall. I forget which one is which. I'm not gonna lie to you. But that doesn't help with the daughter. So Gwyneth is the head of farming. And so what are you? If we assume that these pictures are from 97, then can we throw her back as a student? 97 would imply that she is either in middle school or high school, but either way, K through 12 is K through 12. Confirmation bias kicks my ass every single one of these freaking games. It really does. Okay. We did it. Now we have one more to solve. And then we lock Sam in, which means we got a couple people wrong. We got whoever Jones wrong. Okay, they all were students. Why did I not choose that? The crazy part is I probably had them all as students at some point, and then I changed it as I read it.
To my genealogy genie. If you're reading this, it means you've locked in 49 blood relatives. Congratulations. I knew you could do it. There are 2 more entries on the family tree I'd like you to consider. These last 2 are optional. You can summon me whenever you wish. However, this will end your search and reveal the truth. So make sure you're ready.
Okay. Make sure I'm ready. Okay, so we gotta solve 2 more. Nice. The last 2 are optional and won't lock in until I say I'm ready. Well, here's EC. We don't know the name and we don't know the spouse. Oh, we gotta type them in? My initial thought was because we know here, what if his name was Edward Clancy and then, I don't know. And then we know the partner is Miller. Something Miller. Oh, now we don't have no numbers. Okay. That dance emote? Yes. 10 out of 10. Sam. We need to read more about Sam. There's the scandal. Patricia, the local daughter of a steel mogul, and Eli Jr. had a secret romance. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as EC. Patricia was married off to a much older man. Sent away. That was the next to that. Sam's a spitting image of... Yep. Mr. Miller. Okay, so we have that right, I believe, right? Miller. We could assume the last name is Roottree. Right? This is a... Well, actually, is this a secret kid? Oh, no, this is a guardian. Okay, so maybe this isn't a Roottree. And we still got a couple more names we could put in too. I don't think they'll confirm, honestly. I think once we submit our thing, it'll probably just go to the thing. It'll probably just in the cutscene. Okay. You know what's the crazy part? The egg cream. Who was EC? Now, this might be the hardest part of all because I don't even get a name. I just gotta search it, right? We only got a few names anyway, but the last 2 names we gotta type in, so EC is not even gonna be on the list. And just to verify, yeah. This is the first egg. EC egg cream. And then they talked about him being a confirmed bachelor. Let's read a little bit about this. The ones about Sam. And then maybe that'll help us. Yes, this is like her as she was younger. This is the younger diary that she wrote. Yes, none of the sons will take over, but that's what he gets for holding on to it for so long. Nobody's got time for candy. Okay, so it's not the exact one where Sam was a thing. This is Sam. Obscure relative included in family gatherings. Gwyneth had been pushing to include Sam for some time. Lauren writes, why Sam? I have so many distant relatives. Trim their branches from the family tree. That name could very well be John Miller. Can I ask a question? If I submit this, is the game over, or is this secondary part you guys speak of? We don't have anything here. We don't have anything here. Game is over after this part, but there's still another part. You ain't get it right. Trust your gut. Okay. Yeah, it's given that his boyfriend's name was John Miller, but who was EC? At no point we got EC's name. And then who do we have? We have Egg Cream. I'm gonna leave that there just to make me laugh again. We got Gwendolyn, Elias, Clancy Edward, Margolite, and Miracle. If only we could figure out the names of the relatives of these folk. Because they are known to recycle names sometimes. You know? And if they're known to recycle names and they talk about, oh, my granny had a great aunt or two, then maybe that has something, potentially some extra stuff. What if it was Nah, I already said it could be Clancy Edward. That was my thought process, right? I don't have any proof. Why did they even ask me? Why did they even tell me about this? Huh. She had no brothers, so as the older sister, so at least Gwendolyn's side might not help me with the guy's name. So I think we might have to do some research into the 5 pieces. We know the initials of the person. It's just about locking in who that person might be. And did we get all 3 volumes of the thing? This is the new ad. This is the old ad. This is volume 1. This is volume 2. And then is this that volume 3, perhaps? Charles Lee. That's not what I meant to do. And they talked about it included a major misprint, but obviously the misprint was the available. Clicking confirm will also lock you out of getting any optional spouse names. I don't even know how you will find the spouse's names. That's gonna be something you're gonna comb over every single piece of evidence again. Imagine, bro. He was a writer. I'm like, what if, you know? I don't think Egg Cream is gonna search anything. Imagine. One sec. EC. Trust my gut. Who could EC be? So we got 1, 2, 3. We got 3 names. 4 names, technically. Where's the 4th name go? Oh, over here. But I should be looking for EC. EC. So this is 1924. I'm gonna write that down. Yes, yes. And the misprint is available. How do I search it? 5 pieces. Is Pooh okay? Tap her on the back a little bit. You okay over there, Poo-Poo? Poor dog. She seem okay right now. Look like her breathing calming down. Okay, okay, so they basically still sell Culliver shell maple candies. Since the late 20s have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf. Taste have changed, so the 5 colors shape, but the shape in combination with the maple have stayed consistent. What would that name be? ECCE. That can't exactly be the same thing. I wish if this was connected to here, it wouldn't make it easier, to be honest, but I'm ready. No. I feel like I got the spouse's name right. I don't know if we searched John Miller to triple check to see if we get anything. We know that they're farmhands, or appear to be farmhands. That dog okay? Should we get some water? Right, like please drink this water. We're gonna have to make it seem like it's juice or something. Like we're gonna have to take a sip from the water bowl and hopefully. They work at the Anderson farm. As the oldest sister, she was able to inherit the maple farm. I feel like it almost makes it harder that I don't have a name. I mean, obviously, they gotta make it hard to an extent. EC, whoever EC is like a son to Elias. Now, whatever that means, I don't know. About who a spouse will be. God dang it. that and put it right here. I think I'm about to sneeze. Now, why am I looking up Miracle? Only to find the spouse, to be honest. Like, I'm like, maybe writing it down might help. I feel like grape and elderberry kind of feel like similar flavors, right? Not exactly at all, but. And then what the fuck is egg cream? So we went from that to this. Jeez, why my pen is not working? So it went from GEECEM to GECEMM. Gosh. I don't know. There's something here. The funniest part is if EC was here, what the fuck is egg cream? That's what I'm saying, bro. What is egg cream? It's true. Candy volume 2 by Charles Lee. So this one, we got in 1924. And then this one is 1928. So in between those 4 years, 1924 and 1928, Elias had Miracle and disowned, I'm assuming, a gay son. Being that as a farmhand, it kind of makes sense. Maybe the mom was like, let him at least like work on the farm and give him a job. Like, you know, it kind of could make sense if that was the case. But what would the name be? That's the part that's throwing me a little bit. And then we have this one. But this one don't got nothing to do with it. It's just the Team Blast one. And they still look the same, but they clearly are very different. Roottrees, 5 pieces. Modern candy for modern society. 5 flipper, maple infused flippers. Inspired by our children. Like, did the kids, like, obviously the name, right? What made me write it down was to see if it had any other thing, like any spelling, like in common, if that makes sense. It's gonna throw me off. How hard would these people for candy these were the flavors they settled for? Oh no, for real. They like the egg cream one itself is given the little bean boozle type of thing, like, you know, when people purposely get nasty candy for whatever reason. Yeah, we figured. Oh wow. That's crazy. So we need to be very specific with what we look up. I'm gonna take this opportunity to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be back. I gotta be right back screen. The chat don't work on it. Don't judge me. I still gotta fix it. But I'll be back. Give me a second. Hello, hello. I got the extra quick, fast lightning transitions. I don't even. The crazy part is, as I reset my computer, I lost a couple of the transitions that I made back when I had Adobe. So I'm kind of cooked. I gotta make a couple of new transitions, or I might have to see if I can find a way to do it in like DaVinci Resolve or any other platform that is sort of like After Effects. So this one is in 1935. This photo was taken in 1935 to celebrate a new warehouse. This is real interesting because we know who he is. We have a picture of him. He's the only guy that we didn't have a actual name for. CE. He had a kid named EC, and then he had a kid named CE. Okay, let's observe the kid's name so far. We have Gwendolyn Roottree. Okay, sounds decent. We have Elias Roottree. Okay, so we have GR grape. No, G. Elderberry. Elder. Nothing's actually making any sense. CE, cinnamon extract. Melon will be Margalite. And then Miracle, got Miracle Berry later on. That was like not a creative like flavor. What if he had a little bit of both? What if his name was Elias Clancy? And would his last name be Roottree? I don't know. I feel like I'm struggling just slightly trying to figure out what I need to do. I almost want to turn this down in my ear so I could think. You guys can hear the music though. So what I'm thinking about right now is I got a couple things I'm thinking. Elias Clancy. I'm assuming the last name will be Roottree. Or Edward Clancy. Bro, I got a fancy pen and I want to use it, man. I want to use it. Let me see if I got another pen. Ew, blue pen. Okay, I got a black pen. I don't like swapping over. Like if one page of my notes is in black ink, I like to keep it that way. Edward Clancy, Elias Clancy, right? We might be able to find out if Elias had any relatives. We know that Gwendolyn was the oldest of sisters, so, and because we know that they shuffled the names around, we know that essentially they don't got nothing to do with us, unless, you know. Let's see. Sam, Pop said it was complicated. He saw Sam working alongside the farmhands EC and John when he used to drive past Anderson Farm on the way to work. Check the records. What records? How would I find out if they're in the books? Was there another about the Sam? You gonna head off? Okay, have a good night. Appreciate you being here. I'm trying to imagine what your time zone would be. Definitely not my time zone. It's like 7 p.m. But I hope you have the best of nights. And yeah, have a great day, evening, night. Still feels like day to me. It's kind of like after daylight savings time. It's still a little light outside, to be honest. Yeah, the sun has not set completely over here. But yeah, thank you for hopping in and coming through. This might be a hard one, honestly. I don't think at any point it tells me who EC's name is. Let's look up the secondary piece that comes along with this. Where is that at right here? Where is this? Does this have anything to do about it? Samantha Roottree. She was told her parents died. Apparently, Sam was illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul. Patricia Christensen, daughter of a local steel mogul. Who is this steel mogul? Christensen Steel was a steel company in Butler County. On World War II history page, you find it contributed to the war effort by creating parts for vehicles, but after that it went out of business. Christensen Steel. I gotta fold this paper. That's how real it's getting right now. That's also how you know I don't really fuck with the in-game note system. by Tina. This is new. This is new evidence that we have here. Honestly, it's kind of lit, to be honest. One moment. I gotta plug my phone up too. Oh, plugged it the whole time. Hilarious. We are cooking right now. You said a detective notebook and the glitter gel pen would slap. Oh yeah. I actually really love glitter gel pens. I feel like they run out of ink fast. However, right, there's so much, you know, cuteness. There's so much you could do. Like I used to color with them and just doodle, right? And they come in so many different things. That's what I meant to do. Steamy Correspondence by Tina. Tina Angelina. That's kind of a cool name. Oh, we got a picture. A steamy picture. This time they edited to my stuff. They edited to my evidence. No, shit. This is a book of historical letters with erotic twists. Each letter is accompanied by a context from the book's author. A letter from the book has been added to the pages. Look at that. We got another piece of evidence. This late in the game. Steamy correspondence. Historical letters with an erotic twist. That's kind of wild. In 1934... I didn't even pet that cat today while my allergies killing me. I got some allergy medicine somewhere around here. Somewhere, some way, somehow. No, that's not even it. No, I can't find it. Do I have an extra one? Nope, I'm just cooked. Oopsies, bloopsies. So we can assume that the person that goes by Patch is Patricia. We'll read the Steamy Correspondence Bridgerton spinoff. That'd probably be a good read. I actually never watched Bridgerton, but I heard it was really good. It has a very dedicated fan base, so it has to be good. In 1934, somebody who goes by the name of Patch wrote a letter full of innuendo to an unknown gentleman who was clear she had a romantic history with. Patch is thought by the book's author to have been Patricia Christensen, a daughter of the owner of Christensen Steel. Her nickname was Pat, and Ch were the two last letter of her last name. And Patricia Christensen was known to appreciate wordplay like this. Patricia, who would have been in her mid-20s when this letter was written, was married to an older man of no notable status. This letter was most definitely not to him. There are a few passages after the steamy bit that mention a daughter, leading Tina Angelina to theorize that this letter was written to the father of a child she hid from society in some way. The letter ends on a mention of a twisted twin. That seems to evoke imagery from classic literature. A twisted twin. So is that no, he has brown hair. Could this be Clancy's twin? Let's keep reading, though. It's probably somebody related to Patricia, right? And then also, no, her original name, her maiden name is Christensen. So I was about to say, what if that was her secondary name from when she got married to some older man? If not for her story, yours and mine would be the most tragic tale ever told. How awful is it that such beauty was ripped from his rightful fate, and worse, sent to live in possession of your brother's twisted twin? Is he the evil Edward Clancy instead of Clancy Edward? I'm out. Let's keep going. I wonder also, do I have to put the last name there? And if I put the last name and I don't get it right, y'all would still give me the props for getting it okay, right? I'll still get like pure props, even though the game will just say pretty much no, you didn't get it right. Twisted twin. Left an outcast, forced a life of labor under a wicked relative. Sounds like something from the start of a children's fable. She deserves not the life she has been sentenced to. I can't stand to be apart from you both. Someday I shall return to you, and I pray he has not corrupted her to know his sins. I swear that on a joyous day, with all of the strength I can muster, I will fight for our child's freedom. Let us play her fable has a happy ending. Tina has no theory for what more of the cryptic parts of that mean. Your brother's twisted twin. That's hilarious. He do be looking like his brother though. Like look at Edward Clancy. I mean, look at Clancy Edward. You see Clancy Edward? Now look at Edward Clancy. You can't. Come on. I got my gut. That was, you said go with my gut. That was like the first thing that I latched onto, that he could have the reverse name. But then when we saw the C, I was like, maybe we should look some more up about this. Christensen person, Patricia. I'm gonna look up Patricia in the periodicals as well, which she's probably gonna be in Butler County Times if anything, right? Christensen Steel was a steel company in the early 1900s. You find mentions in the Butler County Times. Some are old birth announcements in the Butler County Times from when the owner, Matthias Christensen, the son of his 4 children, the only name that looks familiar is Patricia Christensen, the third of his 4 children. There's a front page article in 1944 stating that the Vice President of the United States had stopped there to visit the factory floor. Company stopped being advertised around 1949. Around that time, there's a blurb saying that Matthias was stepping down from the company. Interesting. I'm assuming this is just gonna pop up back here. And then that's Christensen Steel. Let's copy that and then we'll search it. Maybe it's something in the Business Watch. Geez, I thought I copied it. Ah ha ha! Wait. No, that's... I think that's the same thing we just read. Appears all went well in the war, and they were even committed by the president. Article from about 4 years after the war ended said that the expansions and modifications they made to the factory were no longer sustainable during peacetime, and the company was being sold. Okay. Is that all? I think... What does it say? Who is EC? I genuinely don't have any other things that I could think of. Knowing that Patricia wrote a letter basically to Elias talking about his twin brother's evil twin, or his brother's evil twin, there's nobody else or no other names that could come to mind. Brothers, twisted twins, left in the outcast, forced to live a life of labor under a wicked relative. I genuinely think we have it. I think we might have completed it. I don't have anything else that, to me, rings that much of paying attention to. And like I said before, you know, Clancy Edward Clancy. Edward Clancy just ended up being the twin that was disowned, and you know, he got found out to be gay. And I don't understand how he forced Sam to be, you know, a worker, but maybe that's kind of like the life that Elias kind of forced him to be. Maybe he was like, yo, you can't, I don't claim you, you're not a official son, regardless of his blood, thicker than syrup type of thing. And then maybe he felt bad about Sam working, and Sam had the original Roottree name, or maybe once they got back together. I don't know, but I think that we could call this ready. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else. We could probably place a couple spouses as well, but we're not gonna know if they're like. There's no other thing like. The time to play spouses was before, you know. We just know Patricia Jones don't go here, and we should have put a whole bunch of names and try to figure it out. We got a couple names we could look up. What other names do we have? That would be my only thing. Maybe trying to complete the spouses beforehand. Helen Lennon. But I think I might, just out of not thinking that I have anything left, I think we might submit it. What else names? I'm gonna least bare minimum look it up though. April. Let's look up Joanne Monroe. And then the last name will be April Quaritch. Spelled that wrong still. Okay. Did not copy. None of these popped up. Well, I would like to say that this is a pretty cool game, and regardless of if we get this right or not, I think it's still going to be a good story that we're discovering, and there's also a whole different thing. You know what I mean? The logic is logicking. For sure, for sure. I just wish we had more. Like, if we just submitted some of these names earlier, we would have been able to confirm that they're not it, you know? The only one we know is Patricia doesn't go here. I might look up one more thing. Does Jim ever talk about his mom? I feel like there's nothing about his parents in here. Jim named his kid Candy. We could also look at the kids' names as well. At least if they have daughters, we could maybe sort of find some type of thing. So what if April was this spouse, right? April, November, right? We're literally just throwing some shit together that trying to make some sense, right? But I don't think that they'll actually let me know I'm right because they're spouses. And Guy didn't have any kids, so I wouldn't even know about that one. So we got Joanne, Monroe, Helen, Lennon, and Patricia Jones. Well, one question. I'm done. Nah, I'm done. Basically, I won't know if these are right regardless until I submit my answer. Correct? I don't remember the actual names, just where I found some of them. And the question, would this give me a hint about the name I have? You know, the other thing is, like, I'm considering taking a hint and just locking in my answer now. So whatever I read, I would leave whatever is here right here. You know, that would be my clause to taking a hint. I would not change my final answer. The hint will be hopefully to try to maybe get the spouse's name. I love sending you on the April, November off pure vibes. Yes. Yep, I think so. So you telling me that all of these spouses' names are somewhere found? They're somewhere in here. Guy Hudson also could be easy to look up. Gosh. Look. All right now. We didn't get two. Well, we don't know if we got two of them, but we got one for facts. Roottree. If we could find the name of the advertising agency that he worked at, that could help. Jim used to talk about him a lot. Okay, I'm gonna give a little bit more effort into this. I think they all get one-off mentions, but some are harder to find than others. Okay, gotcha. Gem and Diamond. There is something here where it talks about maybe he had an interview or something of the sort. Music. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpa existed. He spent time with my dad and me. As a result, Clark and I grew up like brothers. Diamond and Jane, on the other hand, are actually sisters. They had a few QT family band thing going on. Yep. He slept with his younger sister. What? Not his younger sister. Whose younger sister? Diamond's younger sister. Only thing Clark and I had in common was music, but even then we never agreed on what it should be. He was more interested in catchy tunes, something you hum a week later. I've been told rolling is like that, but that wasn't my goal. When he called me up and said he liked it, I took it as a sign I was going in the wrong direction musically. That made him laugh, but I'm trying to make art. That's also how my father was connected to the Roottree, his old ad campaigns. That doesn't help. That helps, but doesn't help. Is that Elias Jr.? Elias C. Let me look into this as well, just in case there's a little bit more. If I could find at least one more spouse's job occupation, I feel like I could lock this in confidently with like at least like the extra names. Okay, so we search the sound of laughter. What about this cherry tree? Now, what if we copy this sound of laughter and search it in periodicals? He's gonna pop up as James, right? I mean, as Jim. Jim, what does your mom's name seem like, huh? I mean, we know Clark took after his dad about the ad campaigns. That's how we found out that he was into advertising. That's also how we find out that Clark was into advertising. All over the record player. My father was connected to Roottree. Something else I could search. Roottree advertising. Let's see. You found a site about successful ad campaigns. One of the ads listed from the late 50s. The boys and girls agree. It's a series of television and magazine ads for Roottrees chocolate bars. The ad campaign is described as having the premise that boys and girls are diametrically opposed, except for when it comes to one thing. Both of them agree that Roottree is their favorites. So advertising, right? I think we can go stick to marketing items. Interesting. Okay, so no. It's kind of cool that something came up for that as well. All right, I'm about to look into Miracle, but I might. If I don't see anything with Miracle, I might have to submit this. Not that. Miracle Roottree. Then we need to look up this Miracle Network shit. But I feel like we looked it up. Or no, we looked up Miracle Roottree Estate and we didn't really find much of anything. He arrived so late in his mother's life, the doctor swore he wanted to survive his first year. With the birth late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems, but he persevered. He started spreading the word. 23 years later, he had a child. Oh, I might have to stand up for a second. One sec, I'm about to stretch. Alright, I stretched, I stood up. Thank you, Ship. I appreciate you still being here. Thank you so much for lurking. Out and about. Legal troubles. So we gotta figure out. Look up Miracle Jr., I guess. Something also worth looking up. Miracle Jr. is a televangelist who was part of the Miracle Network. His ex-wife Edith, and we know his wife's name Edith. We already have him locked in. Yeah. I think I might submit it. Let me see if we get a hint. I'm not okay. I'm gonna try to get a hint, but I'm gonna change my main answer. You have everything you need now. All you need to do is look through your evidence for any inconsistencies. Great, 10 out of 10. Now, does James' parent look like? Does his mom seem like it would be a Joanne or a Helen? If we're like sticking with what we got. At the 10 out of 10 hint, you have everything you need. What could get me closer to finding one of these people's names? There's something else. There's our Operation RT29. Oh, the candy company. They're changing the stuff. Anything else that might help, honestly? Who was left? Helen and Joanne Lennon, or technically April Quadrich, Helen Lennon, and Joanne Monroe. I'm trying to think of what I need. I just don't know. I feel like it's really hard. Searching for the specific people makes sense because, you know, anybody attached to the Roottrees has like some type of information about them. Yeah. Yeah. That we're not gonna get any hints about the spouses. So we might be cooked when it comes to maybe trying to 100% the game, I guess, but it's almost like a oh well kind of thing. And I'm intrigued to see what the secondary part of this will be once I do confirm if I got it right. Okay. We have Edward's spouse. We don't know shit about Edward, bro. We don't know shit about Edward. what is Edward Roottree? We know he's a lawyer. Maybe he might appear up in some place. He was the company's lawyer, some way, I think. Or was it his dad? Yeah, his dad was the company's lawyer, not him. I think I'm gonna submit it. Yeah. So we are going with Patricia for Guy Hudson. We're gonna go with April for November's mother. And then these are the only two that I feel confused. Only because I'm like, I don't know. And if they popped up, that would be easier because it would literally be the easiest. Who is more brown haired and who is more blonde haired, I would imagine, right? I mean, he's blonde, but like his son is brown haired, so. Should I change this before I submit my answer? Knowing that I don't have access to finding this information. And I probably do, but I just genuinely, the game isn't helping me out. I don't know what else I would find. And there is clearly just not much here. A review and interview titled. Like, is this all written down? Like, what if this is a book? Could be reaching. If they just had so I could right click and push paste, that would be amazing also. And all right. I feel like I've tried everything I can. I think in order to not go insane, I think I might submit this answer. I've tried real hard. I might have to look at every single piece of not in here. It's probably nothing to do with any of this, I would imagine. It's probably just a short mention of who the parent will be. And we don't have any other picture of Miracle besides these two pictures of Miracle. So our two leads are Miracle and Edward Roottree. Okay. Well, we will submit it. I think that's it. I don't feel like in my gut that I need to swap these two. I do feel like the April and November vibes are kind of vibing, right? It makes sense. And yeah, unless I feel it randomly before I push this button to change it, I'm gonna leave it how it is. And then hopefully, at bare minimum, if we get them wrong, let's hope we get 2 wrong out of 4. Because I can't just get 1 wrong. If I got 1 wrong, I got 2. So let's bare minimum hope that we have 2 wrong. And I'm gonna go ahead and call her up. If I want to make predictions real quick before the next cutscene happens, I thought we were talking to Samantha Roottrees, and maybe she was trying to figure out her dad. Like maybe they, took her away and not raised her, but maybe she's trying to find her adopted person. EC, that's who she was trying to find. It's got to be something to do with it. It's a lady that we're working for, so that's why I assume it's Samantha. It's probably somebody else. It could be way down here, like somebody else that is like a lot younger, being that some of these people have passed, some of these people are still here and whatnot. We just don't necessarily know. But the oldest miracle is still here. Yep, a special appearance. Miracle is 68 years old. Genealogy genie cooking. So Miracle 68. That's 2 years ago, so he's 70. So that means everybody here is 70 years old or older. Oh no, everybody here is 84 years old. So some of these people are dead, perhaps, or old, about to die. All right, I'm ready. I can't think of anything else. Let me turn it up in my ears just in case it's important stuff. Well, we get to hear, we get to react. But yeah, I feel like I've been trying to force it, and I think forcing is not helping my brain feel better, if that makes sense. So, we're ready. I feel like I have faith in my answer too, and even if I were to not get it right, I feel like I'll be okay. And knowing that maybe my theories were okay, they were kind of sort of correct, and apparently to you guys I'm kind of sort of cooking. So could I be cooking or could I be not cooking is all up to interpretation. I'm gonna just try to cook anyway. Okay. All right then, we're ready. Let's do it. Finish the Roottrees are dead. Okay. We got April right. We got Patricia right. Damn, I knew it. Why? I didn't feel like my gut didn't help me out. I could have swapped it over. At bare minimum, right? I did get, before we figure out the actual answer, at bare minimum, this was the best case scenario, right? Worst case scenario, we got all 4 wrong. Best case scenario, we got 0 wrong of the spouses. And in middle of the, best case scenario, we got 2 wrong with no information, right? And these 2 were really off of vibes. Man, that makes sense. Helen, is that not like a church name? 50-50, we take those? Yeah. Let's see if we got this right, though. Yes!
So, you thought EC was Edward Clancy Roottree, and his partner was John Miller?
You know you got it right when a game is saying the stuff. You know what I mean? A game that barely has voice lines got voice line for the answer. You know you got it right at this point.
That's
all right now.
Exactly what I needed to hear.
Yes. Look at that. We got most of it right.
I'm Sam Madsen.
We knew it. That is Sam. What's up, Sam?
Yep, I got old. The only picture you have of me is from 40 years ago.
Wow. I knew it was Sam. Look at that haircut. Come on. I wish I could zoom into the screen. Look at that haircut. You can't tell me that don't look like this haircut. It's given she grew up with a side part and never separated from her side part. You know? Yes.
My book tells the truth about Elias, the 5 pieces,
She wrote a book?
and my parents.
Okay, can we read it?
Not my biological parents, Elias Jr. and Patsy. My father's. Edward Clancy
the truth about
Roottree
my parents?
and John Miller.
Maybe her parents didn't force her to work. Maybe they were cool guys, and maybe because they were gay, they got shunned and people thought that they were bad. But maybe they were just poor. They weren't supported by the family. And, not Clancy Elias. Edward Clancy was probably broke, right? He didn't get none of that benefit. Appreciate you, Shippy. I appreciate that a lot.
By now, you've either read Lauren's diaries, or you're just an incredible guesser.
Yes, ma'am.
Lauren was right. I hated the 5 pieces. She just didn't know my full reasoning.
Wow, even though she seems to blame more than just the 2 of them, she has problems with us next gens, but she has a palpable hatred for the 5 pieces, Elias and Gwyneth. I wonder what her reasoning is. I'm assuming... Okay, look, just because we talking about it, and I just, to make me feel like I know the full story in my head, I assume that it's not exactly what it seems, right? I'm assuming that it was all a misunderstanding. Her dad, or who she was raised by, was not a bad person. He was a good person trying to make ends meet, and he just got shunned from the family, which kind of fucked her over in her life and whatnot. So that's kind of like what I got going on right now. That could be a true thing. We gonna see here in one moment.
My father, Edward Clancy, was a great man.
See?
But his identical twin, Clancy, and his father, Elias, were not.
So Clancy was the evil twin? Bro.
At age 16, my father was caught kissing a farmhand.
Yep.
Back then, they wouldn't even acknowledge gay people existed. Having one in the family was unthinkable.
You know what's crazy? We kind of sort of had the theory right. My theory before was that we found out like 1 or 2 streams ago that Elias had a gay child, or that was our theory. We couldn't prove that he had a gay child, but we knew EC, and then I think we were so focused on EC when EC wasn't in the Roottree list. Like it wasn't anything that who acronyms we had available, because Elias C. Clancy is, that those initials were already used. Wow.
The same year, I was born. A bastard granddaughter. 2 stains on Elias's perfect family. He decided to fix both.
Wow.
They tried to erase Edward Clancy. They even removed his 5 pieces flavor. His name was deemed a dirty word. He became EC.
Wow.
We were sent to the farm, and the 5 pieces did their best to keep the next generation away. To isolate me from family.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They're talking about I need to save my daughter. How about your daughter is safe the whole time?
But Elias
Not
couldn't
safe,
erase
but...
us from existence. Laura never realized I was the little girl from her diary.
Right.
Who could blame me for being so confused that day? Her father was an exact copy of mine, except without the beard.
You know what? I don't know why I didn't figure out it was a twin.
And while the 5 pieces celebrated a new factory, farmhands did the real work.
So they basically treated the farmhands like slaves.
It's a fluke.
They had them do all the work, more than just farm work, I assume.
There he is in the background. The 6th 5 piece.
Wow. That's crazy.
Patsy returned, and things got complicated for Elias. She fought for my freedom, from a life she deemed unworthy.
Yeah, that was crazy because we were dang, he can't, you can't, you know what I'm saying? He can't be that bad. If everybody shunned him, he's likely shunned for a reason that is not, valid.
Elias relented, so long as I never learned the truth or receive inheritance. They knew I'd help my father. At Elias's will reading, I learned part of the truth. The rest I learned at home. I began to hate the 5 pieces.
Right, because she thought her parents died, and so she was forced to live the way she lived, but she clearly found out that she was part of the Roottree family company and how she lived poor and broke and working as a kid. She could have had this luxury life like all of the other, is it the next gens? I assume the next gen, she was a part of Lauren's
My father
generation.
made me stay silent. He was worried history would repeat, and that his grandchildren would become outcasts. His fears weren't unfounded. As you know, my son Ernie died a few years ago. He had trained to take over as president.
That's kind of fucked.
But due to family politics, or perhaps hubris, it went to Guy. A real Roottree. He nearly ruined the company.
Yes, because he was like, he wanted to go to the firstborn son of the firstborn, the firstborn son of the firstborn Roottree was Zach. I don't know how it got swapped, but Guy's a new to the business world, but he's family. There are rumors that Ernest was originally changed to succeed Zach Morton, but have been passed up for unspecified reasons, and we realized that as well. What's going on over there, kitty cats?
When
I like
Ernie
it showing
took
the
over,
evidence.
He saved the operation. Over 13 years, he made the family billions.
You said caviar flavored candy, he deserved it. He really did. Who the fuck wants caviar candy? I've never had caviar, but I could assume that it don't taste like candy, right? If it's caviar is fish eggs, why would fish eggs taste anything like candy? If anything, it's like seafood flavored candy, right? I mean, I would assume. Maybe something happened to Ernest because maybe something happened to Ernest because they realized how much he earned for the family.
Ernie earned about $36.
$36. Oh, they earned for $36 because he wasn't a part of the. He got a 5-piece guarantee, but he wasn't a part of the Clan's trust, I assume. Because you can't add or remove anybody to the Clan's trust without absolving it. So the 5-piece guaranteed that he will get $36 a year. However, all of the people who inherited the Roottree name somehow sort of got, I think, some type of price per sale, or versus these people got a single, a single salary.
They got by on Debbie's salary.
That's wild.
But when he fell ill, he couldn't pay his medical bills. His death was my tipping point.
Yeah, she said, fuck that. I gotta figure out whatever happened.
Originally, my book was meant to expose Elias's hypocrisy. Until I started to look into the other dirty laundry.
Television screenwriter Robert Roottree was allegedly quietly tried and convicted for under the name Robert Roottree in a French court of law. Allegedly embezzled from his company RR Productions to fuel a gambling habit. So this is something that she dug up. So she's a writer on the silver screen?
Ron tried to have Robbie removed from the trust, but couldn't. Robbie was a blood relative, even out of wedlock.
So that's what they meant way back when they said even though one committed a crime. Yes. So Ron basically was the person that tried to get Robbie pulled out the trust. However, it did not work out because it was a blood relative regardless of the crime that he committed against his own company or his brother's company. Intriguing.
That sounded familiar. The Clancid Trust that Elias established was designed to secure his family's future. His entire family's future. He couldn't write exceptions in without the whole thing falling apart.
That's kind of crazy. They could have got, come on, they got at least one more lawyer in the family. They could have got somebody to rewrote that up, you know? But I just feel like it was real weird, and Elias was not the best person of himself when he wrote this or had this set in motion.
My book can definitively prove that Elias was not the paragon of virtue he's heralded as.
Okay.
And that my daughter and granddaughters are just as much family, at least in the eyes of the Trust, as anyone else.
Period. That's actually true. They are
the
family.
The Trust will secure their future. They can decide what to do with their shares. But I'm old, and I'm not in it for the money.
Get your bag, Sam. For real. She said she don't need the money. She just want to pay for their colleges.
But now, I can set the record straight. Thanks to you. As someone who enjoys searching for the truth, you might understand the power it has.
It really does. She's about to change up everything. Like, literally, like, the family as we know it is going to get changed.
Whitewashing the past to protect the status quo can lead to repercussions in the present and future.
Yeah.
So thank you. You knocked it out of the park. With your expert work, the truth will come to light.
The cool part is, like, if I was a genealogy expert, she will only have 2 people to prove that aren't real. Like, most of this will be legitimate work. Like, I would actually be getting paid my salary right now.
And when it does, my share of the Clancid Trust is yours. Like I said at the beginning, set for life.
Set for life. Wow. Wow. All right. I like the sound of that. She's like, are you not saying nothing?
Looking at the family tree on your wall, now with my father's, everything finally feels complete.
It is, for the most part.
Unless a whole lot more Roottrees somehow appear from thin air. This is the last time I'll come knocking.
Interesting. So what the second part of the game is?
Thanks again, and so long.
Okay, bye. You gonna mail me the check? You promise? You don't go nowhere. Don't go out of town. Yes, this is given like the end of a movie. Life went on and a new president took over the company. Who is it? The Roottree family faded from the news cycle. Okay. And then everything changed. They came back in the news, huh? There's another mystery to solve. Roottree Mania is now unlocked as a new game. That's nice. I would say that the goosebumps I got, I really feel like I really fucked with the game. It was really cool. And like the end, who would have thought that this came back into rotation? You know, this song? And we were jamming to it the first couple times we heard it. 10 out of 10 song for a game, I'd say. It really is given like an older song. If they made this, obviously, when this game got, I'm a secret Roottree. Wait, so I have to do a new game? Well, we'll be starting the secondary part on Thursday. Yes, I don't work Thursday. If I did work Thursday, I was going to try to squeeze in an early stream, but I don't work this Thursday, luckily enough. So yes, we will be starting the second part of that on Thursday. I really had fun with this game. I feel like it's so much confirmation bias when it's like they give you the answers and you're clicking it and it just doesn't click in until you have a certain amount of things right. I too, if I made a game, I would be inspired by games like this. Games like Obra Dinn, games like Golden Idol, games like even Outer Wilds. Like, although like Outer Wilds is more like a 3D kind of like puzzle type of thing, it kind of gives the same thing. I feel like the one thing you could take from all of these games is that they're a type of games that you play, and the more you play, the more you learn about the game. So like, for example, me not understanding the game's UI, how to search stuff, having all the periodicals, having all the resources I have at the end of the game, really hurt me at the beginning of the game trying to figure out what was going on. That's what I would say. And, yeah, I would say that now, I don't know what the secondary thing is, but I'm excited to start it. I feel like, yeah, I don't really know how many hours we have in it. And I can't really, close it. I don't have my screens all the way up, but we had like about 19 hours, 20 hours, 19.7 hours before we launched the game. And we played another 3 hours, so we played about, I mean, you know, like 23 hours of gameplay. I would say this game's definitely worth it. To get the game for probably like $15, more than worth it. I'm like the type of person that like to play like $1 per hour minimum. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm playing a 60-hour game, I need to have 60 hours to play, right? Whether that's a 40-hour story and 20 hours of, you know, 100% completion, you know, it works. Like, if I get 60 hours, I get 60 hours. And the more, you know, hours per dollar you put into a game, then, you know, to me, the more it's worth. Like, some games, I'm like, if it's $20 and I know I'm not going to pay more than 20 hours or 2 hours bare minimum, I feel like, yeah, 10 hours for like a $20 game, that should be like a bare minimum, you know? But this game had a really lot in it. I feel like it's one of those ones, if you're super smart, you might be able to solve fast. If you're, you know, if you're smart, but, you know, doubtful, it might take a little bit longer. Like, you clearly see I had a lot of stuff where it belonged. I just didn't know, you know, the specialness. I had a lot of things swapped in. A lot of people older than each other. A lot of people would swap jobs. But yes, nevertheless, I had a really good time. I'll see you guys on Thursday with hopefully, I don't know how long the secondary part of the game will be, but I'm going to try to do a little looking. I do have a list of games. This is how long the list of my games list is. Oh, look, you can read it. I kind of got a list of the games, and I got a little list of how old they are. I don't, look, don't hold me, right? Okay. I'll read it. I got Until Then. I got Mountains Beneath Us. I still got Tunic I gotta finish. We got Buckshot Roulette. We got Roottrees. We just, well, kind of sort of finished. I got that 8 to 12 hours, but clearly 8 to 12 hours then been and came and gone. I got Killer Frequency. I got Mouthwashing. I got Grist. I got Dredge. I've been really hearing good things about that. I got The Gap. I got Death Stranding. That's gonna be a long ass game. I don't know how we're gonna do that. We got Braid Anniversary Edition. Also classic game. I got Undertale, Hollow Knight, Uncovering the Smoking Gun, and I got another one. It's going to be like a casual series, probably like, but this one is called Lobotomy Corporation. It's supposedly 5 hours to beat. I don't know how real that is. You said Killer Frequency? Yeah, you fucks with it? That might be one. I'm debating. We'll see though. I'm like, should I edit that? It's like 6 hours. Who knows? I might do 2 streams of it. I might do 1 stream of it, or I might edit it in a couple episodes. But yeah. Also, Thistle, I really appreciate you coming in and hanging out. It means a lot to me. I really enjoy what I love about playing like some of these puzzle games is that you can really find a really cool community around it. It's like a lot of people that solve something that anybody could have solved in any which order or any which direction. And in that same way, I feel like it's kind of cool. In that same way, if I give you the same logic puzzle, that doesn't mean you're going to start with the same factual information as me. So, yeah, it's always a cool thing. I appreciate you coming in. And everyone else, I will see you guys on Thursday. Look, I got a screen, but like I said, my chat ain't working. I'm working on it. I got a job. My job's very demanding. But I put the buttons in. See? But yeah. I can't say anything else, but I appreciate that. The good vibes. I feel like that's something that is really cool. That's something that makes me feel rewarded streaming. And yeah, like I've been talking about coming back to stream. It's been really cool building that consistency up. And now I realize like what I want to do a little bit more. And I think I might be able to find a job and keep jobs that, you know, allow me to have a little bit of flexibility with my time. Because, man, some jobs be tough to be streaming, but anyways, you guys have an amazing day. I still got tons more games that I have. I got a couple games I gotta write down that somebody wrote in the comments. So I got games on games, okay? But yeah, have a good day. I gotta go eat. I'm starving. And I'm gonna hydrate. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you Thursday, probably Thursday afternoon. If I could, the earlier the better, but if I had to guess, it'll probably be the afternoon, evening, early evening type of thing. But yes, peace out, and I'll see y'all next time.